Um, I'm attorney Brian Dailey. I'm broadcasting live from High Top the Law Show studios, answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. You can also call us at 855-LAW-SHOW. That's what it spells. And you can email your questions to questions@lawshow.com. And there's a lot of different ways you can get a hold of us. It used to be that you used to have to wait, and with many lawyers now, you still have to wait until the weekend because if you call, you get their answering service, and they won't call you back. That's not the way it is with the Daily Law Firm. You can get a hold of us anytime, night or day, and we'll answer your questions as quickly as we can. There's often not a delay more than at maximum, a couple hours. But usually I just answer the phone and say, hey, how you doing? And that's what I'll do. If you have a question, call us right now at 855-529-7469. You can text us, The Law Show, at 46786. Text keyword Law Show at 46786. You can go to the Android store and download our Law Show app and send me a message through the Law Show app. It goes right to my cell phone. You can go to Facebook. You can like us on the Law Show and send me an email. I'll get that right away. You can go to Twitter. You can follow us at The Law Show on Twitter, and I'll get with you right away. And you can just call me at 855-529-7469, whether it's during the show or after the show. If you have a question but you don't want to go on the air, then call anyway and follow the prompts to leave a message, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. I'm attorney Brian Dailey. I'm broadcasting live from High Top the Law Show studios, answering all your legal questions. My area of specialization is litigation, and typically that means going to court on injury matters and on criminal defense matters and also on commercial matters, business disputes. And I've been doing it for over 25 years. Today I've got with me in the studio Deborah Crane. She is licensed in Michigan and in Illinois, primarily practicing in Illinois now at the Daily Law Firm at 30 North LaSalle, Suite 3200. It's family law, and she's going to be here to answer family law questions. So if anybody's out there that has a friend or a relative or even themselves has an issue with family law, whether it's divorce, child custody, child support, spousal support, how to split up a whole bunch of debts, how to split up a whole bunch of money and assets, we have all your answers right here through Deborah Crane. Deborah Crane, welcome to the Law Show.
Thank you, Brian. Great to be here.
Good. How was your week? You had a pretty good week. I think you're busy. You had clients all over the place.
All over the place and in court every day with those clients. Yeah, a lot of things happening out there. A lot of grandparent calls, grandparent right calls.
Well, you know what? I remember my grandparents, and I loved visiting my grandparents. And my parents never said I couldn't visit my grandparents. So I don't think anybody should be allowed to do that. And with Deborah Crane, they're not going to be allowed to do that. So tell us a little bit about grandparents' rights. What all is involved in that?
Well, first of all, I agree with you that it's terrible that the grandparents are being denied by resentful spouses and that kind of thing. You know, there are rules the court looks at, so they need, not everybody has the right or standing to go in and get grandparent rights. But if you have one of the parents willing to let the grandparent see the children, that's a foot in the door. If there's litigation going on, a divorce going on, so there are reasons grandparents can step up and get court-ordered regular visitation.
That's great. And you've had success at getting that done, I think.
Yes, I have.
Very good. Well, we have a lot of callers, and I see one from Mike. He's got a question about child support. Mike, you're on the Law Show.
Good morning, Brian. Quick question in regards to child support. My son is 18, but just starting his senior year because he was held back in third grade. My decree does state 18th birthday or the end of graduation of high school. But emancipation question has just come up from my ex-wife. She is moving out of the state in a month, and my son chooses not to live with me and my wife, but family friends. Does my son emancipate himself from me now paying child support because he's no longer living with a custodial parent?
Deborah Crane, that's quite a question.
Boy, yes it is. Mike, I'm glad you called. I have to say I've not had that question in all these years. My inclination would be that you will not have to pay support, but let's double check that. I'd have to look into that. If he's truly legally emancipated, court-ordered emancipated, then, I'm quite sure you won't have to pay. But don't just stop paying. You're going to have to get a court order to, telling you that your support has ended.
Now, Mike, let's have a discussion about the economics of legal decisions, okay? How much do you pay in child support every week?
Monthly, I've been paying $600 a month for the last 8 years.
All right, so you've got basically 9 months left, right? So until he
Correct.
graduates, and that's 6 times 9 is last I checked, $5,400. I'm not sure that that is worth your money for a lawyer to get that eliminated. But what you can probably do is, Deborah, can you tell Mike how to do this by going to court on his own?
Sure. Let's first get that emancipation order. Without that, you are to continue paying support. But once he is legally emancipated, and that will take some time. So but then you should be able to go into court on your own on that. You can contact the Child Support Division. They ought to be able to help you. You can give me a call if you want. Listeners out there, I'm glad to help if I can.
There's a lot of cases in which we can't really represent people because in order to do that, we'd have to charge them more than it's worth. So in other words, if your upside potential is $5,400 and you've got to pay us half of that to get us involved, it's not worth your time. But that doesn't mean we're going to leave you in the cold. Call us and talk to us. We often give free legal advice, not just on the radio. So, Mike, I'm going to encourage you to call our office number, 855-LAW-SHOW, during regular business hours and talk to Deborah Crane about this, and she'll guide you through it a little bit more in detail, okay?
Okay, I appreciate your time and effort. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling the Law Show. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. Remember, you can email your questions to questions@lawshow.com, and you can call us and leave a message. We'll call you back. You can also go to thelawshow.com and click on the Watch Live video, and you'll see yours truly answering legal questions right here, right now. We're going to go back to the phones. We're going to talk to Jeff. Jeff, you're on the Law Show.
Good morning, Brian. My question is, are there circumstances in which a business would be responsible for a slip and fall situation if there's no evidence that they had any knowledge of any specific wet spot or something like that?
Okay. All right. So are you calling about your business, or are you calling about a business that you slipped and fell in?
Well, my wife slipped and fell in a business, yeah.
Okay. So in general, here's the way it works. If you're in a business and you've been invited into a business, you have the highest level of duty that is owed to you from that business. You are called an invitee. So they invited you in to benefit themselves financially. They have a very high duty to maintain the safety of the premises and to maintain safety of their invitees. That would include your wife. Now, there is an issue as to whether or not they had notice. Notice is a strange little concept because you can have notice and you can have constructive notice. So let's say, for example, there's a wet spot on the floor, and they didn't know that that particular wet spot was there, but they knew that the reason why there were often wet spots there is because there was a leaking pipe in the ceiling. Then they're going to be held to what's called constructive notice that there's a hazard there, and they're going to be required to clean that up and pay compensation to your wife in the event she is injured. However, if somebody in a great big grocery store is pulling a bottle of water off the shelf and they drop it and it breaks and they don't tell anybody, and the next minute your wife walks by, they may not be held to have had notice. What my point to you is that every case is fact-specific and fact-dependent. So I don't know all the detailed facts of your wife's case. What was her injury?
She broke her femur.
That's a really, really bad injury. And tell me, what happened? What kind of a store was it? Don't tell me the name of the store.
It was a restaurant.
Okay. And did she slip and fall in an area where there normally would be water spills?
Well, it was right next to the machine where people fill up their own soft drink.
Okay. I'm going to say that there is more likely than not a good case there, because if they have a source of water and they know that that source of water often leads to spills on the floor, and in self-service circumstances that often is the case, then I'm going to say that they have constructive notice, and I'm going to encourage you to proceed further. Now, when did this happen?
I appreciate that, during the winter months.
What year?
This year.
And how's your wife doing now? Is she healed?
Healing.
She's got a broken femur, and is she still limping? Is she still having pain?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she lose any time from work? Okay. I'd love to be able to handle your case. There's a million different lawyers in Chicago who can handle your case and do a very good job of it. We think we would do the best job of it. We'd like to handle it for you, but if you want us to, sit down and talk a little bit before you make a decision, we're happy to do that too. Okay?
Great. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to ask Dave to get your phone number so that we can call you back. Is that all right?
Thanks. Sure.
Thanks. Hold on. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. And we're going to talk to Susan. Susan, you're on the Law Show.
Hi. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Got a question. I was in an automobile accident in January where the other driver accepted full responsibility.
Okay.
I have approximately $78,000 in medical bills.
Okay.
Now, I have been turning them into my own health insurance company,
right,
so that I don't have any outstanding bills.
Right.
I'm ready to settle now, and I'm wondering, how do I determine what to request of the insurance company or
Okay.
insurance company?
It's not as easy as all that.
Okay.
And it is somewhat complicated. There's a lot more information I need, and I can see that we're going into a break. So I'm wondering, can you hold on the line while we go into that break and then come back and talk to us a little bit further?
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to ask you some questions as we're going into the break. We've got about 1:20 left. And so we're going to discover, after we come back from our break, how it is lawyers ask for what is the amount to settle for. So give me some information, okay? What county did this accident happen in?
DeKalb County.
Okay. And that's up by the Flying Corn, isn't it? Up by
Yep.
Northern Illinois University.
Right.
Right. And what was your injury?
The airbag, the side airbag deployed, hitting me in the shoulder, which caused a little bit of injury to my spine, which activated arthritis.
Okay. And is
That was already there. It just activated it.
right? Were you insured?
Yes.
And was the other driver insured?
Yes.
All right. Well, now we have the information that we need. We know that her medical bills are $7,000 to $8,000. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be answering all your legal questions. We're going to continue talking to Susan about her accident and how to figure out how much do you demand for a settlement in a case like Susan's, and how much do you demand for a settlement in any other case. And we'll talk about a little bit more about that. I'm attorney Brian Dailey, broadcasting live from High Top Law Show Studios, answering all your legal questions at 855-LAW-SHOW. That's 855-529-7469. We'll be right back.